I was here in Rockhampton and I was actually teaching. Social work was a very new kind of profession, as a student. I was interested in community development and social planning, so because I had an education degree before I went to do social work, I didn't have to do all the subjects, so I could shop around for to use my time, I could shop around for other subjects. So I was very interested in community development and social planning. I graduated in 1972. I became the first professional social worker in the town. There was no agencies. So the first thing I did was, and this is very important too, as part of the beginning of CatholicCare, I discovered this priest called Father Frank Gilbert. And Father Frank Gilbert had a little committee which he called the Christian Family Movement. He in fact, initiated that. Eventually, I caught up with Frank, and I knew that he'd have some influence with the bishop as well.
We had, in the parish of St. Peter's, these Christian family group meetings. So these things were in their infancy, but in place when Sister Anne-Marie came back to Rockhampton. And she arrived back at just the right time, in a sense, where she came in after Mass. I can still remember leaning on the sacristy bench and saying, "Now, I'm Sister Anne-Marie Canane, just come back, and I'm want to get into social work. I've done a course, and I believe that you and the bishop relate well, and you've got groups going." And I said, "Oh yeah." So that was the start of it. So she used to come around with me in my area of things, but she, in the meantime, was going all around Rockhampton itself and looking into all organisations, social organisations in the city, in which she did a very, very good job. The next step along the line, she'd come to these meetings too, the Christian family meetings, and it came to a stage where it became necessary for us to set up what we would think would be a centre. I went to the bishop and he recommended that we go to the former site of the St. Patrick's School down at Derby Street on the corner. And we had a little donga there, and we had a secretary, and Sister Anne-Marie had one room and I had another. So that led us to set up what we then called the Christian Family Centre. But we also toured throughout the diocese. That's the way the thing grew, the centre grew right throughout the diocese, and it was established in Emerald, Bundaberg, Markey, Rockhampton. We've laid the foundation, so to speak, but it's grown and increased in every way. And so now 50 years later it is CatholicCare and it has grown a whole lot. But those were the original beginnings.
So I guess CatholicCare started back in 1974 as a very small ministry of the church, with a couple of staff, with a couple of volunteers, really delivering some very specific services targeting families, and really grew organically over the next 20 years as different parishes were doing different bodies of work that were slowly brought together into a single portfolio of services, which really laid the foundation of the services we deliver today. In the early 1990s, it was local community care services that came into Bundaberg that had been delivered by the parish previously under the neighbourhood centre.
I started with Centre Care on the 28th of April 2000, 24 years ago. Of course, it was a lot smaller back then. Like the Bundaberg Centre Care, when I first started, it was like a big family, a big happy family. The lady that buddied up with me, that I buddied with 24 years ago, I'm still friends with her today, and we still catch up for coffee. We have gotten bigger, and hopefully we're going to keep getting bigger. And I just think as long as the clients are happy, well, we're happy, and that's our job, to make those clients happy and to provide a good service, which is what we do, and that's what we've been trained to do. CatholicCare looked after us. I've got many stories to tell, but we don't have a lot of time to tell it, but there's special ones that I remember.
So I think CatholicCare, starting as Centre Care, has grown dramatically in terms of our presence in the town. Part of that's purely scale. In 2008, when I joined the organisation, it really had been through itself a period of growth. The journey from 2008 and 2010 really was about looking at where are we as an organisation, where do we need to be, and how can we be financially sustainable going forwards.
In 2008, I was working in regional development, and at the same time, Dr. Ricky Jeffrey, who I'd previously worked for in regional development, had taken on the role at CatholicCare Central Queensland at the time, and wanted to understand what was happening in the social and human services systems. So that was kind of the first part of the role, was to come in and have a look at the organisation, see what information we didn't have, see what information we needed to have to actually ensure sustainability for Centre Care in the long run. It is a bit unique to us, to be honest. It's there's not people doing my role in other organisations that I'm aware of, and I have sought them out over time. Part of what we do is say, okay, if that's what we've got coming towards us, what do we need to have ready? And NDIS is a really good example, and the changes to aged care, in that we were more ready than a lot of our peers across the including other CatholicCare Central Queensland, because of just getting that thinking happening. People do feel like we do change a lot. There's a lot of changes that happen, and it's true. Change is the only constant in this sector. It's unavoidable. We don't have the resources to be doing stuff that doesn't work. So understanding what does the community need, because the communities never stay the same. They're always changing. The needs in communities are always changing. So you need to be really focused and understanding what's going on in your community, so that you know what an organisation like us needs to be doing in response.
So I think as an organisation, we do take a change approach quite aggressively in terms of how we do it. We generally would like to change quickly and early when we see there's a need to change coming, as opposed to delaying and putting off. And I think that's one of the things that really does differentiate us from a number of our competitors. We often find ourselves doing change early on and being able to do it in a much more controlled, natural and organic way, and then find out 2 years later some of our competitors or other Catholic agencies are now doing it in a really chaotic, quick, emergency kind of way, because they haven't seen the changes needed and responded appropriately, and now they're doing it in a reactive way. And I think that really is a real positive for us here at CatholicCare. And that really goes back to, so Ricky Jeffries, our previous director, Ricky had been brought in and I was brought in to change the organisation. It had been stuck in it for a very long time in some very old practices, and the old ways were no longer going to work. So that mandate had been created from day one, and that expectation from day one. And I guess when you start that way, it's very hard to kind of change that approach of keeping on the front foot, making changes, keeping current, and really aligning who we are and what we're doing with where it needs to be done effectively. So we just need to ensure that we're positioning ourselves as best as possible for those changes.
I started at CatholicCare in January 2010, so that's now almost 15 years. At the time, this advertisement kept on popping up about CatholicCare. It was Centre Care at the time, looking for a family dispute resolution practitioner. I didn't know much about the role, but I read up about the role and I thought, oh, that's really, it's something in family law, or working with families. So I contacted CatholicCare and I spoke to the manager at the time, and she invited me in just for a chat. So she offered me the position and I got the job. But the Family Relationship Centre was very new. very unsophisticated, if I can use that word. I think you could expect at the time that there would be some growing pains because it was a new industry. It was quite new in Markey, really brand new. Even the clients didn't know about the Family Relationship Centre. They thought we were like solicitors, and that wasn't the idea. So not only did we have to build up the practice, but you also had to make sure that the clients out there, the people that needed our service, knew about the service. So building everything from the ground in Markey, it was quite a journey, but it was enjoyable and satisfying at the end to see from where we came from. So from those days up until now, we've built a huge, strong practice, and I'm quite proud of the practice. I feel it's very professional. And I obviously just talk about the Family Relationship Centre, but CatholicCare as an organisation, I saw over the years so many changes. And sometimes you wonder, where's the organisation going? And you don't see on the ground always the bigger picture, and then when it becomes visible and you know where the organisation is going, you're like, oh wow, this is something to be proud of. And when I started, it was a small organisation, and now we're more than 400 people. And the programs, everyone talks about, the growth and the programs and the services that we do offer to clients, which is awesome. It's amazing to see that, yeah. So I'm very privileged to work in this team.
So one of the biggest growths we've had as an organisation over the last 16 years that I've been here is really that maturity as an organisation, having more sophisticated systems and processes. A dedicated HR team, communications team, training team, IT team, finances, a couple of teams within finance. So it was really building the organisation that could actually operate at that high level and really have that single diocese focus, and that as an organisation we were all kind of moving in the same direction, following the same strategic plan and having really good outcomes for clients.
So the role I applied for was a finance admin officer, and at the heart of that role was a bit of helping out the finance team, which at that time was only 3 members. So at the time, CatholicCare was working out of the 168 William Street office across from the cathedral. So I walked up to this 2-storey house building, and I kind of thought to myself, is it a real organisation? I think on my first day, I got shown this is where you sit, these are your exit and everything like that. On that desk was absolutely nothing, barring like a pen, and it was like a full-blown computer setup with the desktop and screen, only one screen back then. And then obviously started off in the finance team. During growth and change and everything like that, I was successful enough to move into a payroll officer role. So it was great to learn new skills. Something that I've enjoyed at CenterCare or CatholicCare is that they do pride in personal growth, to learn new skills and to grow within the organisation, which then led me to be able to work more in the HR team to help support a career progression in that area. And I was lucky enough that it moved more into a payroll HR officer role and then grew from there. And then as the organisation kind of got bigger, it's kind of nice that the team kind of then got more of a HR team. So then you move more into that human resource partner type role. The organisation is quite supportive of that professional and personal growth. And if you're willing to commit and join that journey, hopefully you will find the benefits in the long term of that success for yourself within your own career.
So when I first joined CenterCare back in the day, I was still like a first year IT student, or like getting into my second year, and you don't, when you're in 19 years old, you don't really think, oh yeah, my IT career is going to be in aged care. That's not really like the thoughts that go through your brain. I was sort of recruited by Elizabeth Tansley, my current manager, because I was one of her students in her databasing course, and she told me, hey, go apply for this job, and everyone in that course applied for this job, and then I got the job from there. Yeah, and then I've transitioned to a few roles, but all data-centric roles. And currently now I work as a business analyst, which is still basically a data-centric role. It's automation where possible and streamlining of business processes if we can't automate it. So we find those micro efficiencies. I think a lot of companies fail in this industry, definitely fail to innovate in that regard. So I do think we do a good job.
I couldn't even tell you my journey, the role titles I've had, but I have always been in support services in one way or another. I have moved through CatholicCare with a lot of guidance from mentors within the organisation, and really trusted in their vision of where they see the organisation and where I might fit and can do my best work. So I don't think I could do what I do today if it wasn't for the people around me, the support that's offered, the guidance, and just generally working with great people. If you come to work and you are here for the right reasons and you have the right values and the right attitude, I think you can go a long way. There's a lot of opportunities, a lot of, and it may not be in the avenue that you thought it would be. I started out in finance. I did not think that I would leave finance. But I think the organisation and the people really invest in individuals as people, and not just what they can do for the organisation, but I guess helping you grow to where you would like to be, not just where somebody can get value out of you, kind of thing.
So over the last 16 years that I've been in the organisation, there have been some really significant achievements and milestones up for the organisation. Given the geography we were talking about back in the time before there was Zoom and video conferencing, to be able to have such a cohesive group of people across such a broad and diverse area was a real achievement, and to be able to do so and still deliver the services, stay on budget and do all of that, I think was a massive achievement. Having 400 plus employees means that a lot more people in our community connected to the organisation through staff and friends and family and things. The client base we have has also grown dramatically, so a lot of people now interact with the organisation in ways that previously probably didn't happen to the same extent. We've grown so much. Ricky used to describe when we first started, it was a small business, small family business transitioning to a medium-sized business. And I think we're now getting close to that cusp where we're really needing the transition from that small, medium business to a large organisation. And that really does bring a lot of differences to how an organisation operates. We need to be really mindful, though, of our culture as we grow. As you become bigger, it becomes harder and harder to maintain and manage the culture and ensure that we don't lose that sense of connection and community that's really important to what we do.
I'm really passionate about a workplace that has a solid culture. Everyone here works so hard for the members of our community. It's really important to me that when they come to work, they deserve the best workplace that they can have. It's a really nice place to come to work and feel safe at your workplace. A lot of the change we implement has such huge impact. The way we handle ourselves, the way we handle the challenges we see, which are getting more and more complex and difficult, to see how we respond. That's where I want to see the organisation continue to move to. I really enjoy coming into work every single day, and I enjoy coming in and working with the people that I work with, and it's a really big desire of mine to make sure that that's how everyone feels about the organisation. So yeah, lots of things to do into the future. It's a never-ending kind of journey. It doesn't have an end point. But I'm very passionate about that, and I'm very proud to see how we've really moved forward over the last few years, and I'm really hoping that we can continue to do that.
Change is constant. You actually never reach a destination. You always need to be looking and monitoring and being mindful that where you are now is where you are today, and that's okay, but it's not where you need to be in 2 years' time. So it's how do you keep scanning the horizon of where is it you need to be, and planning as to what that needs to look like and adjusting as you go. So as an organisation, a lot of growth has happened, a lot of growth is going to continue to happen. We're providing services in really important areas that have meaningful impact on the community. And really what I would like to see, or what I would say our success in the future would be, is if we can grow, meet all of those opportunities and still have that sense of welcoming connection and community that we have today.
Our job, there's a lot of people that came before us to make the organisation where it is today. We have a part now to make sure that it is here in 50, 100 years' time, so that we can still do the amazing things that we do. So really keeping that legacy going and doing your best every day.
Don't ever lose sight of why we're here. I think if we find ourselves in a position of we're just going through the motions of showing up every day, then we've really got to pull ourselves back.
Whatever the work looks like in 25, 30, 50 years, I would love to see our values and our principles and who we are as an organisation not to get lost. It'll be a very interesting journey.
Know that the work we do is really important, meaningful, can have an impact, and know that we're contributing to something that has, from today, 50 years legacy, and just know that we're part of an organisation that makes a genuine and meaningful impact to the community that we serve, and that focus is what can really keep us moving forwards in the right direction.
I think that it's the wonder of it. Yeah, I think that's the grace of God involved in the work that Sister Anne Murray mostly did, and I consider always that it was wonderful to work with her because she had such a vision for what it could become, and I'm sure that it's really evolved the way that she wanted it to become. It's out of such humble beginnings in the Donga at Derby Street.